Hey guys, welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Saturday, which means it's time for a Talk Magic. And today I am speaking to one of the most well-known performers, creators, consultants in the whole magic industry. This is a person who has worked with the who's who of the magic community. This is a person who's consulted with people like David Blaine. This is a person whose creations have been used by people like Dynamo and Copperfield. This is somebody who has been on TV numerous times, created effects that have been bestsellers, not just bestsellers, but also created effects that have been underground like huge things that have literally been the cornerstone of some of the biggest mentalists in the world and their act. And this is the person who has been responsible for creating all of them. There is an argument to say that this person I'm about to interview today has been one of the most influential magicians and creators and consultants in the last 50 years. And you're about to find out why. I am, of course, talking about the legend himself, Yves Doumergue. How are you, Yves? You okay?
Um, yeah, I'm okay, but I feel like I'm I'm kind of shy usually, and this big intro makes me, wow, who's that guy? Ah, it's me. Yeah, I'm not assuming. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
No, but it's true. Like I was reading your bio before we actually started the interview because obviously I've always been aware of you, but I don't think anybody's aware of everything that you've done. And reading your bio, it's almost like, if any other magician would have even a fifth of that bio at the end of their career and had gone, you know what, I've done this, that have gone, yeah, I've had a successful career. You're still in your prime and you've done all of that. And it's just phenomenal. I mean, it really is. I mean, sometimes we don't take the time to pat ourselves on the back. So let me do that for you. Congratulations, because you have created a legacy and it's incredible.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's
Thank you.
true. And
Yeah.
thank you for coming on the channel. I know how busy you are, and I know that you're always doing a million different things and you're performing and creating and consulting, like I said. So thanks for taking the time to chat to us. I really
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time for this interview. I'm glad because I know you are even more bu busy than I am.
I
Yeah.
got a few plates I'm spinning at the moment. But it's all good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
December is a tough month.
It really is. It really is.
Yes.
But it's made a little bit easier by chatting to you. And there's a lot I want to talk about, and obviously there's a lot that you've done, and I want to try and touch on as many things as possible. But just in case there's people watching this interview that aren't aware of you, they've been living under a rock, or maybe they're new into magic and they don't know who you are or what you've accomplished. Let's start at the very beginning, and let's kind of
Honestly,
yeah, let's
yeah, honestly, I'm kind of shy and I'm proud to do things because I'm proud of doing things, but I try to not maybe hide myself because I don't like, yeah, I prefer to be discreet. How you say it in English?
yeah, under the
Yeah,
radar sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Well, let's start at the very beginning. Let's talk about your origin story.
yeah.
When did you get into magic? Is it that age-old story of my uncle pulled a coin from behind my ear? Like, where did your journey into magic begin?
I'm sorry, this is not a special story, or it's a special story. I'm not sure. I was 8, no friends, school was tough, glasses,
Hmm. Hmm.
small,
Hmm.
and not really adapted to the kid world. So I found myself that doing magic opened me the door of the adults world because they accept me in this world because I was doing things that they can't figure out. So that's how I get it.
Mm.
It's it's kind of a story. It saved me.
Wow. That's amazing. So you got into magic at the age of 8 because you were wanting to open up, and like what was that catalyst though? Was it, did you see a magician? Did you find a magic book and start reading it?
Oh,
Like,
my grandfather always take us to a bookstore. We can each of the cousin we can only buy one book, and I choose the magic book. And I think it's around there or there. I don't know, but it's
wow.
somewhere.
Wow. And so you started doing magic at the age of 8 years old. Was it?
Yes.
I speak to a lot of people on this channel, and I ask them their origin story, and a lot of people say, "I got into magic when I was very young, but then I kind of drifted away, and I came back to it later." Where were you constantly interested in magic? Did it become an obsession? Did it become a hobby? Did you dream of being a performer, or was it just something that you kind of did for fun?
I think that when I was young, I was not dreaming of anything. I was just doing magic because I loved it. And then I grew older and older, and I never let magic at any time. But I was doing some engineering studies,
Mhm.
and it was kind of not interesting, kind of boring. And then I decided to let go and open a magic shop. It was in 1996,
Oh wow! How old were you then?
20.
20. Wow. So that's a very young age to set up a business. Like,
Yeah,
had you
yeah,
before you'd got to the point where you're like, I'm going to open my magic shop, had you got out performing? Had you been
yeah.
performing? But yeah, did you start
I,
performing professionally
I
before?
was performing like every kid in bars. Oh, not every kid, but every teenager in bar or doing magic for my friends and so on. But I was not considering myself as a professional because I'm not considering myself as an artist. So I was thinking, if what I do as a magician doesn't last, if I have a magic shop, that's something solid. So
Mm.
I could rely on it and yeah, I could live with it. So
So
that's
you
it.
transitioned from engineering into running a
Yes.
magic shop. That's
Yes.
crazy. That's crazy. And that's kind of a risky thing for a 20-year-old to do. I'm going to open up a magic shop, especially in such a niche community and niche industry. Magic's very niche, and you're just like, hey, I'm going to open a magic shop. That's great. Like, how did that work out for you? Like, so you opened up a magic shop. Was that successful
It,
or?
yeah, kind of success. Yeah, it was kind of success. It was 7 great years because I sold it 7 years after I opened it,
Mhm.
because I was no longer interested in. I have too much. I hadn't enough time to perform, make my creation, deal with other business that I was opening. So I decided to sell it. I sold it in 2003, I think. So it's a long time ago. And then I was, yeah, that was the beginning.
Okay, so you opened up the magic shop and you sold it in 2003. So you opened it up in the sort of the mid 90s.
Yes.
And you got to a point over those 7 years where you were like, I'm too busy. I've got other stuff going on. So what happened in those 7 years that kind of because your dream at that point was to open a magic shop and then you sold it. We know you as a performer, a creator, as a consultant. I know that like I think your first ever magic creation of some notoriety was in 1999 and it was Ripped and Restored, right? Which is, I think it was
Yeah.
the best-selling magic trick of the year. That when that came out, it was the best magic
Yeah,
movie
it
in the
was.
year. That was so like that must have happened when you were in the magic shop. Like, did you like develop an interest in creating magic? Did that happen before? Where did that desire to create come from?
Actually, I'm I'm not considering myself as a creator. I'm considering myself as an interpret. And sometimes when you don't have what you want, you have to create it. So it's a need. I want to do, I don't know, I've learned at this time, everybody was learning Guy Hollingworth.
The
How is
Reformation,
it?
yeah.
Yeah, Reformation. And it was not for my hands. It was great, but I couldn't do it. So I say, I have to do some things that's for me, that fit my hands and that fit my ending. That's the story. But I've always been creative in a term of assembling things, putting things together, and making them my own. Does
Yeah.
it make sense? Yeah,
Yes. Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah, yeah. And then during this 7 year of a magic store, um, it was pretty interesting. But after 7 years, I wouldn't say that I knew everything about selling tricks, but it was. I wasn't interested in just buying stuff and selling stuff.
Hmm.
It was not my cup of tea. I think it's great for people, but it was not me. And I wanted to go more into creation. And then I sold my magic shop to focus for a few years on creation only. And
Okay.
I opened another company that the name is not known for magician, but it was Cobalt Production. And I put some trick on the market, more trick on the market because I was interested in growing my act. And then it became kind of a necessity to have some things that make my act unique or what I do on stage unique.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
Okay. That's very interesting.
So, so
And
yeah.
and while all of this was happening, so I'm trying to get all the timeline around. So during that 7 years as a magic shop owner, and you started the sort of the creative process that you then kind of lent into, were you performing as well?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you were performing, you were running a magic shop, you were creating. That's a lot.
What are you doing, Craig, today?
Yeah, okay, good point. But it must have been like, am I correct in saying that Ripped and Restored was your first major release?
Yeah, I think it was. Yes, it was. Actually, funny story. Um, uh, I love teaching. I really do love teaching. And it was in 2001, just after the big thing in 2001.
Mhm.
And David Stone called me and he said, Yves, I injured myself doing the bottle appearance. I have a tour set in the United States. I can't do it. Can you do it for me?
Wow.
And, and I said, when it is, and he told me, I think it starts in 2 weeks. I said, shit, I don't have anything. Oh, I can't say shit. Oh, damn.
Oh, you can, don't worry.
I don't have anything. I have to put things together to have a lecture tour. And a good friend of mine named Laurent Beretta, which is a great artist. And we did this tour. It was in 2001. Um, Actually, yeah, it was, that was it. Yeah. Putting creation together and going into teaching to magicians and going there. I can't remember what I was telling this anecdote. I,
Okay.
I lost
It's a
myself.
bit because we were talking about Ripped and Restored.
Yeah. And so during this, I came to Meriedid, and Meriedid saw this trick during the tour. I think it was at a convention, maybe at Ankley's Magic Convention or something like this. And he told me, "Oh, that's great! I want to make a DVD out of it." And say, "Oh, why not? Let's do it." And then we did it. Yeah, during the tour, that was unexpected. We did the DVD with Mare, which is a great human being, and the DVD was a kind of a real success. Yes, it was.
Wow. Yeah, it was the best selling DVD at the time. So so things and were you when you left the magic shop, were you positioning yourself as a consultant at that point as well? Because you said you had lots of things going on and you wanted to lean into creation. Kind of being a creator in many ways, kind of falls hand in hand with consulting as well. Was that something that you either started doing or was on your radar as something that you could potentially do?
I do remember that at this time, consulting was kind of rare.
Mm.
Nowadays, everybody say I'm consulting for whoever, and that's kind of everybody is doing that. Everybody is a consultant because there are probably more magic shows or more magic program. But at this time, it was kind of rare, and I do remember that I first get in touch. I think it was with David Blaine's team, and I've been creating some tricks for his special. And I think that's because at this time I have some toys to show you around. But I was putting some creations at this time on the market that were very new and very unconventional. I don't know if you remember Psyche.
Yes, that
I
that's
got
the
it.
oh, that was the biggest thing. Like that was huge. I remember
Yeah.
like getting that. So for anybody who doesn't know, it has a metal alloy. The temperature difference would make it. Yeah. Do you want to explain it? It was
I kind
amazing.
of explain it, but your English is better
Yeah.
than mine. But
Yeah. So
there is
basically, yeah.
this
Go
special
ahead.
alloy, and it was the first I got the idea of the alloy bends or change shape because of temperature. And I think I was the one that had the idea of using the difference of temperature between your body and the room around you. So I made this kind of, that's the UK English model, and we got a European model, and then it bends. Yes, it's the first self-bending key on the market, but it was a long time ago. Yeah,
it was incredible. It was so well received by the community.
yeah, and I think at this time I was the first. Everything was packaged in Ziploc bags, and I think I was the first to do this kind of crazy. Nowadays it looks
Yeah.
a kind of tacky, but at this time it was futuristic, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
So
I love how you said, yeah, you almost dropped out. Yeah, I'd started consulting a bit with David Blaine, like that's just a thing that everybody gets to do. Like, I love that was just dropped into a sentence and we just brushed past it. I'm not letting you brush past that. Like, we're talking about probably one of the most influential magicians in the entire history of magic, and you were
yeah,
consulting for him, not just
yeah,
consulting for him, you consulted on two specials. That must have been
yeah.
an incredible experience, right? How did that come about?
I don't know. My phone, honestly, I had no idea. My phone just rang, and or I get an email or something like this, and maybe they asked me if I had anything special to show them or anything unusual or something I want to share for the special. And I had at this time 3 or 4 things that I had. I thought, yeah, may want to do this. Maybe you saw maybe at last Blackpool the spinning coin. Did you see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I've done this for David Blaine. It was in 2011, I think. I do remember. I can send you a video. I have to remember this, but it was called Odile at this time. I sold
Mhm.
a very few units, and David Ben has been doing it. I think it was his special. He has many cell phones around a coin at a bar table, and then he made every cell phone ring, and the coin was standing up and spinning
I
like
remember
crazy.
that. Yes. Yes, I remember that. Yes.
It was me.
Wow. That's amazing. Absolutely
Yeah,
incredible.
and some other stuff. But I will send you some videos, and if you want to share them, I don't know if it's possible to add
Yeah,
some
we can
videos.
put
And
we can put
if
videos
people
over the
want to
top.
see
Yeah.
it, yeah, I think that seeing images, yeah, will make people happy. Yeah, but it was a long time ago, yes. And some other stuff, but I'm not sure that I can. Excuse me, I'm not sure that I can say much more about something else. Yes, I think I can
Okay.
talk about that
I
one
can
because
imagine that you've signed more NDAs in your career than most people have hot dinners. So I can totally understand that.
honestly, not that much. But not that much, but I'm I'm known to shut my mouth.
And
So
absolutely, why not? So you sold your magic shop.
yes,
You moved into the realm of
creation.
creation and consulting, but we also know you as an incredible performer. You've been on America's Got Talent, France has Got Talent. What what's what's more important to you as a performer or as a creator? Like, what do you enjoy doing the most? If you had to make a choice, right, I can either create for the rest of my life, or I can perform for the rest of my life. Which do you
Do
prefer?
you Which one do you prefer, your
Oh, well,
father or your mother?
I'm not being interviewed. It's not me. It's you. I know I'm
I th
asking you it's an impossible thing
Yeah,
to say.
I will try to explain. There is kind of a link between these two things. If you don't perform, I think you can't really create magic for magicians because you are not, you have no link to the ground, you have no link to the field. And to know things, you must practice in the fields. So this is what drives me, what gets me some ideas, what makes me need some new stuff. It's my the power engine, the fuel that runs the things. And I love creating because I love technology. I have a small background as engineer, so I love creating. I love technology. I love making things that are great or not perfect because I can't say this, but good stuff that works.
Yes. Yes. And I think
So
that that's something that you see
it's
with
a
all
buckle,
your.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It's a
Well, here's
buckle.
well, here's a question about your creations. Like one thing I've noticed about you is you don't put stuff out like all of the time. It's not like, you see people that are releasing magic an awful lot. Your stuff is kind of few and far between, but every time you bring something out, I think it's fair to say it's revolutionary. Like what's your process when it comes to creating an effect that you eventually bring to market with the community?
I don't bring something to market until I've been practicing it for at least a year, and until I think it's really wet. Wet is a good word. Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
if it's
Yeah, I
understandable. Yeah,
understand. Yeah.
I think I need to be when I go in performance and I think, okay, I'm sure it will work. I've seen everything around it. I know it works, and I know I got great reactions. I know I got very good impact. I know that it works every single time, and that every case is covered. I At this time, I'm usually no longer in love with the effect. Then I sell it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I can understand that. Okay, so and that's why your material that you bring out seems so well worked in because you've actually worked it in. It's something that you've tried and you've tested and
Yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of time, and I admire people that can put 2 or 3 effects on the market every year, or 5 or 10, because I think how can they do? But um, you are putting a lot of things on the market that are workers,
yeah.
and I don't know how you manage to do this. I couldn't do that.
Well,
It's
I stepped away from the community for about 10 years, but I never stopped creating. So a lot of the stuff that you see coming out is stuff that I came up with like years ago, and I just created it for myself, and it wasn't for anyone else but for myself. And then over lockdown, I came back into the community, and a lot of the things that you're seeing are things that I developed maybe a decade ago. So it's not like it's
But
slightly
so
different.
so you understand. First, you create things for yourself,
Yes.
then you share it. So because you are your own customer, you are your own client. You want things that are good, reliable, get some impact, works every time, and that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You-
Absolutely.
you- and yeah, that's it. And we were, I think, talking about psyche, and at the same time, to go back there, I put out something that was named Chronos. I don't know if you remember this.
No, I don't remember. What's Kronos? I feel like I should know it, but I
Chronos.
don't remember it.
I was very, wouldn't say shocked, but influenced by Steve Banachek, Psychokinetic Time.
Yes.
Yes. But to me, it was good, but I'm not as good as Steve Banachek is. So I needed a reliable system to be able to move spectators' watch without being noticed. And I designed a gimmick that was hidden into a thumb tip that makes the end of a watch turn very quickly. I don't
Wow.
know. I think I got one, I'm sure, but I don't know if I have a watch. It was this.
Oh, there it
Look,
is. I don't remember that. I don't know why I don't remember that, but I don't remember that.
you got an. Where can we show
Yeah, it's
something?
only
Yeah,
magicians that watch this
yeah.
channel. Nobody else other than magicians watch this.
Look at this. Can you see the ants or
Yeah, yeah, I
not?
can. Yeah, yeah. You see that?
I don't know if it still works. Do
Oh
they
my
move?
God. Yes, it's yes. Oh my God. That's
So,
incredible.
so you are just borrowing the watch, putting it in your hand like this on top of the thumb tip, moving the hands by just pressing and making them turn. So you could do psychokinetic time by just, I take your watch at the fingertip, don't move, put your hand flat, put your hand on top, moving the arms. That was
That,
it.
that's great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow. And some of these older effects, like Psyche and like Kronos, are they still available? And if not, what? Why not? Like, because these are the sort of products that stand the test of time. You know, a new magician coming into magic that's wanting something, incredible. Something like Kronos, that's a perfect example. Psyche is as good now as it was 20 years ago.
Yes and no. Very often, I think I consider myself as being um, too much influential because many of my creation have been uh, inspiring some other magician to do something very, very close, but so and it kind of I dislike it. So when somebody is copying what I do, I decide to just stop doing it. I've put a ring on the market. I think it was in 1997. I put the first magnetic ring on on the market.
Wow.
It was named Elohim. But each very often some of my products have been copied, and I would act differently nowadays. But at this time, I say, "Oh, I've been copied. Let's forget about this project and go to the next one." I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
So how do
But
you deal with that? Like, if you don't, can I bring up the motherboard? Would that be okay? Is that something that we can talk about? I don't know what we're allowed to talk about and not talk about when it comes to that.
yeah, we can talk of the motherboard without giving too much around
Yeah,
it
I don't want
because
to give too much away with it. I mean, those that know, know. We don't need to say too much about what the
yeah,
effect is. Suffice to say that you have created a mentalism prop
yeah,
that has been used by some of the biggest names in the industry, and
yeah,
it's a very exclusive, and you literally have to sign documents
yeah,
to make it exclusive. And we're
yeah,
not going to talk too much more about that, other than that's something that has been literally replicated. Like it, and it must hurt. Like, does it? Like, we won't talk about the names of the things that have come since.
yeah.
There's no point, but like, it must. That's such a revolutionary device. I have spoken to Las Vegas headliners, personally spoken to them, have said that's such a big part of their show. And you've gone through so many hoops to try and make it so that it doesn't get out to the wider populace, because it is the sort of thing that needs to be a very protected secret for a very small group of people, which is why it was costed and priced at such a point where it wasn't the sort of thing that you could just buy and do down a restaurant, right? And then to see
That's
something else come out that achieves the same thing but is inferior, I'm just going to go out and say it, that that must be very annoying, to say the least.
yes. I think that's a part of the game. Unfortunately, I we are not living in the gentleman's world. It was kind of this long time ago, and I'm. It makes me sad if people that does it better than me. I would say, okay, they do it better. There is some improvement. There is some new functionality or whatever, or it's better in any way. I would have said, yeah, it's good. But since I think that the copies that are right now on the market are making me some bad publicity because it's very inferior. So, and when they discover, when people come to me and discover the motherboard, they say, "Wow, that's very different from what I think it was." And so it makes, yeah, was it clearly expressed? It only makes me sad because nothing better has been made, and what's on the market makes a bad publicity to my product. Or a good publicity to my
Yeah.
product, yeah. Because when they see it, they say, "Wow, that's so much better." So they want to
Yeah.
buy the original. But
The,
I
Does that sort of thing stop you from wanting to create? Like, John Cornelius, one of the greatest creators of all time, famously said, his stuff had been ripped off so much. Right, I'm not going to create anymore. I'm not going to release anything else anymore. Like, and that was a bad thing because Cornelius was amazing. I mean, that
yeah.
is and I can understand why he got to the point that he got to. So many things get ripped off even just weeks after they've come out. You can find them elsewhere. Like as a creator, does that make you second guess creating magic, or is that? Yeah, I know that
Um,
you don't do it for commercial reasons. I mean, I know that you love creating. You just said you create first and foremost for yourself, and then afterwards it's something. If it's something that's released to the community, then fair play.
I hope that it will not bring me to this point because it's sad. But at this time, I'm not creating because I want to create. I'm creating because I need. It's um, it's in my guts. It's a need. If I don't do it, I miss it. So, but I can understand that people can be really torn and really upset about it, and it can ruin them mentally in a specific way. And I totally understand why John Cornelius on how he gets there. But hopefully I'm not there now. But
Well, I'm
we'll
glad.
see.
I'm very glad. I'm very, very glad.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yes.
But you've created a lot of effects that maybe people don't even realize were yours. Like um, Split, for example, has been seen on so many different TV shows and
Yeah.
TV appearances and on various different social media platforms. And it's that perfect visual trick that kicked up such a fuss when it came out because everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is amazing." I don't think a lot of people realize that's actually your effect, but obviously it is.
Doesn't matter. If I see people performing my effect, seeing people perform my creation gives me an really intense joy. I'm very happy to see. I'm very proud of seeing someone else perform what I've been creating. It makes me very very happy. Yeah, that's a part of the reward. Seeing people do things, and sometimes they do it in a very different way, and sometimes they do it better than me, and it's good. I love it.
That's
I,
great.
I like it. But Split, yes, but it was Split was a long time ago, and that's a funny story. I was at my shop at this time because I didn't tell you, but after selling my shop, a few years after, I opened another one, but I don't want to say
Of
it.
of course you did.
So long story short, customer was there, and I have to give him some change, and I need to give him 2 tens. And when I pick into the cashier, I took 2 tens that were perfectly aligned by mistake like this, and I took them, and I make like I say, oh, 2 tens, like silly joke. And it was a magician in front of me, and he looked me like, you are so stupid, Eve. Why are you doing this kind of stupid stuff? And then I told him, because he was looking for something new. And then I told him, hey, why don't you do this for a 20? That would be 2 tens. And to do this, you would do like that. You use a rubber band to do this, and you would do that, and it would give you like something like this, and you got two. And he looked at me and said, I don't think it will ever work. And this evening I went home, and right after the day after, I built the first Split version, and yeah, the rest, you know the rest.
The rest is history. It's a fantastic trick. It really is. It kind of makes me think like a lot of creators they have a particular genre they create within. Like, you'll see people that focus on mentalism, for example, and they focus on mind reading, while some people will focus on, look at David Roth with coin magic, for example. We never really saw him doing anything else. Whilst a lot of what you create, it's so eclectic. Like we've just talked about, a PK watch effect. We've just talked about a super hyper visual bill production. We've talked about like bending keys in the hands. We've talked
Card,
about Yeah.
crazy card tricks.
Well, I mean, a lot of people might not even realize, the Orion count, which is an incredible count, that's you as well. Like,
You know this?
yeah, it's
You
great.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know you knew that. Yeah,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I think that I've only published it in a French, very local magazine.
A friend of mine who's French showed it me. It's it's amazing. So, like, is there a particular how do you gravitate from one thing to another? Like, what I suppose, what could you explain your creative process? Because it's very eclectic. It's all over the place. I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this, then I'm going to do this.
I've honestly no idea. I don't know.
Love
I
it.
just I just sometimes I find a new technology and I think, what can I do with it in Magic? Sometimes I want to do a specific effect and I want a solution that works for me. Sometimes it's just luck. Look, take two bills, do this. Oh, that could be crazy. Let's do it.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know where inspiration comes from. I always know that it's rarely easy to make the thing easy to do.
Mm.
To make it simple to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if but it's not easy to make simple, or it's not simple to make it easy. I don't know if you say it how you say it in English, but I got the idea, and it's usually a lot of work. But you know that you got the idea, and then you go into the iteration process where you
Yeah.
get your first prototype, and then you want to tweak it. Doesn't work like you want, and the second prototype, third prototype, and it can do. I'm known, I think, to be. My friends are calling me a pit bull because I can have an idea in my drawer and keep on doing it for years until I got it correct. Um, the last effect we put on the market with Conjuring Lab, because fast forward right now, I'm co-owning a company named Conjuring Lab, and the last effect we put out is called cash flow. It's a credit card that transforms
Yeah. It
into a
looks
banknote.
amazing.
5 years.
5 years.
5 years.
Wow. That's mad.
And and I can tell you why.
Yes,
Because
please.
um, got it? Yes, got it. You know the effect. You show a credit card, which you can show from very, very, very close. There is no special reflection or
No.
gimmick. And then you do this, and it becomes a banknote. And you can give the banknote immediately for examination because it's a real banknote and you can pay with it.
That's beautiful.
And the working of the gimmick that makes the magic, the credit card goes into a bill, is it was only a week or two. But finding the perfect material to have something that you can use over and over and over and over took me 5 years.
Wow.
Searching, not finding, leaving it away, searching again, not finding, leaving away. So you got the story. And then right after, we need also a great design for it. And finding the perfect design was also a challenge. So I wait until it's good enough for me. And having something that breaks every 10 times, or that breaks or like it's something, yeah, you can't use it more than 20 times or something like that. I don't like it. I want something that is in my wallet and I can use it over and over and over and over without having to worry about it breaking.
That's
So,
perfect.
so
Yeah.
yeah, Pitbull.
That's yeah. I mean, it's and that particular trick, cash flow, it's only available through the Country Lab website, right? It's not available through all magic dealers.
Right now, but soon, very soon, it will be available for other magic dealers. Yes,
Oh,
we are
fantastic.
opening.
Well,
We are trying to find the right partners.
well, talking about Conjuring Lab, we talked about how busy you are, and then you go and decide to co-open a company, a production company on top of
Yes.
everything else you do. What? Well, we haven't even talked about how in 2015 you transitioned into touring and you tour with the theatre show all over the place as well. Like, it's
Yeah.
making me tired just thinking about all of this, but we'll get to that in a minute. What made you
Yes.
decide to open Conjuring Lab?
Um, I found the right partners. It
Hmm.
took me years to find people, yeah, that are great to work with. I must be very particular to work with. I've worked with my wife on some book tests. She has written the best book test, the best French book test. My wife wrote it. So and we work on it together. When we work on it, she hated me because she told me that when I work, I don't say thank you or I don't say, oh, that's great, what an achievement. I just say
Hmm.
the work has to be done. I'm focused on what has to be done. And if everything needs to be thrown away and redone, I'm no emotional about it. It's just facts. And I think that I needed to find people that work this way. And I found two great and amazing people that are Oren and Rudy. And these are two great, they are better than me. And I love working with them. Yes.
Oh,
So,
that's amazing.
so this story is not about making, it's about, yeah, finding some people I really wanted to work with and
Yeah.
having the same goal on putting out some great product, something we really use ourselves. And yeah, that's the
That
idea.
makes sense. That makes sense. And obviously, one of the tricks that you brought out last year was when you collaborated with Greg Wilson and brought out the algorithm. That was a Conjuring Lab of, release, wasn't it?
It was a re-release. I think the algorithm was on the market. You won't believe it. And I think it was the first version was in 2012.
Wow. I don't. Wow. Okay. It's mad.
Yeah, it was with as soon as the how you call it, the App Store was on the market for the
Mhm.
iPhone. It was revolutionary at this time. You got this iBeer thing that makes you able to pour a beer out of.
Yeah.
Then I created this with a friend of mine. I got the idea and he was coding, and we put it on, and it was great. It was called at this time Card Oracle in French,
Okay.
and and the design was not great, but it was cool, and we decided to update it to add a few functions to make it better because it was the first iteration, and I wanted it to be much
Yeah.
better than what it was. It's only slight modification that changed the thing, but and we decided to repush it on the market. But it's an amazing tool.
Yeah, it is. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I think it's incredible. I reviewed it, gave it a great review. I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the cleverest things I've seen. It's super smart and fooled the hell out of me. I had no idea how it works. It's very
You know
cool.
what? I still don't really know how it works. I just use it. It works.
It just works,
I
and that's the most important thing, right?
yeah. I don't ask myself any question. But something fun as a magician, many times you are I'm wrong about the perception of the audience. And I was suggested by a friend of mine to make something to be able to do Cardorac or the algorithm on a borrowed phone. And to me, as a magician, it doesn't change anything because it's an app that guesses cards. So if it's on my phone or it's on their phone, it's the same thing for me. And it radically changes the way spectators are seeing the effect.
Mm,
So sometimes we have, as magicians, we have been too much time into this business and into the thing, and sometimes, very often, we can be wrong about what's in the spectator's perception. And you were asking why doing both? Not, but if I had to choose, you can't choose, but because it's the same ecosystem. If you don't, if you are not listening to spectators, to their reaction, to their thinking, you can't create good stuff.
No, no, not at all. That's very, very good advice. I completely agree. Yeah,
You put good stuff on the market because you are a performer. That, yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah.
it works together.
I agree. The synonymous. I couldn't ever release the amount of tricks that I've released that have been made better through performance to real people. You know, the time that I've spent refining it and performing it and ironing out all the kinks. If I'd have just put it straight on the market, it wouldn't have been as good as it was. And also, there's many tricks that I've binned that I thought were an incredible idea. And then when you take it out and you kind of realize actually there's this flaw that I never saw, and it only becomes apparent when you're performing it to people.
And sometimes you think something is gonna be great, and you see spectator like,
Yeah, yeah,
yes. And
yeah,
sometimes it's the opposite. They have crazy reaction and they say, okay, for that, why? So I think it's still spectators to me are like women. I can't decipher, I can't understand. I am still wondering.
yeah,
I'm still asking myself question. What's in their mind?
yeah. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. So outside of all of this creation and outside of what you're doing with Conjuring Lab and this and that and the other and everything else, in 2015, you transitioned from pretty much exclusively performing at sort of corporate events,
Yes.
and you moved into touring your show as well. Can you tell us about that transition as of you as a performer and what made you take that leap?
Actually, it's again meeting someone. I'm performing. I have a touring show with a
Yeah.
duo. You say duo? That's what you say in
Yes,
English?
yes, yes.
Yeah,
Duo,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And my duo, how you say, my partner on stage,
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
your performing partner, yeah.
performing partner. He came into my shop. We met. Great feeling together. The story is again very funny. It was December 10 years ago, and I was having a few show, a few gigs, and he was waiting with me at the shop before I left. And I told him, "Do you want to come with me?" I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And he came with me, and we kind of improvised something, performing together for 2 or 3 gigs. And then I told him, "Hey, why don't we do a show in a theater?" Why not? And I progressively, because it worked very well from the very beginning. So it was not a brutal transition, but it was a soft transition because the touring show is now taking me a lot of time, a lot of dates. So I'm no longer available for corporate gigs. I'd still do some corporate gigs, but since I have a touring show, I often say, no, I'm on a tour. I'm there. I can't do it. So yeah, then long story short, yes, we decided to go and to meet some people that were in the theater business. We met, we start my first stage show was catastrophic. It
Really?
was terrible. Yeah. I thought, hey, I've been doing corporate audience for 20 years. Anything can happen to me. Anything. I'm ready for, come on, guys. And then I discover theater. It's not the same thing. It's totally different audience. It's totally different. What they want is totally different, and what you give them is totally different. There is nothing in common. So the first show was very bad, and then we quickly and a relation in Lyon, because I'm living in Lyon in France, told us, "Hey, I can give you a spot in my theater for I think it was 4 weeks in July, August and July, something like this, 10 years ago, and one show every day." And we began by 4 people into the audience. Two of them were friends, and the two other were their friends.
Wow.
And it quickly, at the end of the first week, our show was ranked in the top 10 shows in Lyon.
Wow.
And at the end of the second week, the room was quite always full. And at the end of the third week, we were first in the top list. And that's it.
Wow. That's amazing. That's
Um,
fantastic.
the, then we've been deciding to do some more shows, bigger stage, bigger shows, bigger things. And the show was the first show was totally crazy, insane. There are some, yeah, I can't even tell it, but one of the effect, we can't do it nowadays because things change, but one of the effect was taking mice, putting into a blender a banana, some milk, then a goldfish, real goldfish, then a mouse, mixing everything, putting it into a glass, and making a kid drink on stage.
Ah, it's amazing.
So this kind of things you can't do, or put some firecrackers in people's mouth and light it, and yeah, some really crazy stuff. And but to me it was funny, and we realized very soon that some people were regularly fainting during our show. Is it a good word, fainting?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah. Because it was the very beginning, and I was young and stupid, and my performing partner, was all as young and as stupid as I was. We found this very funny, and and each time someone was fainting, spitting, whatever, because the show was too strong, it makes us laugh the hell. We found it very funny for years.
Wow. That's
And
amazing.
it was a crazy show. So, yes.
So obviously you're still performing and touring now with the
Yeah.
same performing partner.
Yeah.
Has things kind of mellowed out a little bit over the last decade or so?
Yeah. Yeah. We cool down. We calm down. Yeah. Now we are kind of adults. Not every day, but we are kind of adults. Yes.
Yeah.
And again, funny story. We are doing an act with me hypnotizing a spectator and my partner putting a needle into their arm. You know, the classic thing.
Yes.
Little variation, maybe, but classic. And every time we are doing this, there was somebody fainting into the audience because the illusion is very realistic. It looks very real. And we've decided to remove the blood because it was what was making people fainting, and it was better. Nobody was fainting, and the show was more good. And we forgot during from show to show, we forgot why we removed blood, and we put it back. I think it was 3 months ago, just to try say, oh, why did we remove the blood? It was good with the blood. We should put it back. Yeah. And we got in the audience, first row, two people fainting that they have to bring out because they were totally out.
Wow.
And to us, we say, oh no, that's not funny. It was
Right.
funny a long time ago. It's no
Yeah.
longer funny.
That's why we took it out. Right. Now I remember.
Yeah. Now we remember.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So
Wow.
now it's a more professional, more polished show.
Mhm.
Yeah, we are adults.
That's amazing. I want to ask you one more question, which is I mentioned right at the very beginning of this interview that your creations have been used by people like Copperfield and Dynamo, and countless other names. Like as a creator, that must make you feel fantastic, right? The because you talked earlier on about one of the things that you find so joyful is seeing people perform your effects and then
Yeah.
knowing that like the best magicians in the world are out there performing things that you created in their show for paying audiences. That's an amazing feeling, right?
The feeling of knowing this is not that good, but when I see them perform, I'm very proud. But seeing it is wow. I'm happy. There is a show. I don't know if you've seen it. Zach Mears.
Oh yes, I've heard of it. I haven't seen it, but I've heard of it. Yeah.
You have to. It's for free on YouTube.
Mhm.
Give the link if you put the link into the description. Give them
Yeah.
give the link to if it's possible. I don't know,
Yeah.
but he has an amazing show, and I've seen him using one of the tool I created. Sorry, and it
Wow.
was a great feeling seeing someone using it for real, knowing that someone somewhere is using it is kind of theoretical. You don't really feel it in your guts, but seeing people perform, it's a great feeling. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
amazing. Now I want to ask you two more questions, and the first question is going back to the Conjuring Lab. By the
Yes.
time this video goes up, which will be on, I think, it'll be maybe the 3rd or the 4th of December, you have just launched a new effect with the Conjuring Lab called
Yeah.
Synaptic, right? And I know you're very excited about this. I know there's been a lot of
Yeah.
buzz about it. Could you tell us a little bit about Synaptic? Would that be okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Synaptic again. It's what we have putting on with Conjuring Lab a process that we call soft release. So it has been silently on the market for a year and a half. We have been testing it, changing things, putting new things together, making it better and better and better.
Hmm.
And we came to the point it was good. I think it's a very good gimmick. It's hard to explain, and my English may be limited, but I think you will be able to explain better than me. Synaptic is an electronic device that makes you able to do some real mentalism demonstration, some things that you could do it if you some of the things you could do it if you spend years practicing, but that you can do for real, and it's easier to do, and that makes people think that your brain is supercharged. Is
Yeah.
it a good
Yeah.
explanation?
That is a
Yeah.
very good explanation. Yes.
And it's something that you want to carry with you every day because it's very good for casual performances, and you can also use it, and you have to use it for stage or close-up. It's really something you can use everywhere. And you have at this point, we have 6 different routines with it, or 6 different possibilities.
Yeah, because that's what I loved when I saw you do it at Magic Live. That's what I loved about it. The fact that you had this effect with, with Pi, for example. I don't want to go too much away, which was phenomenal. And then you were
Yeah,
like, well, now we're going to use the same gimmick to do this with this borrowed credit card, and it's
yeah,
like, what? Hang on, the same gimmick is and now we're going to do this with this, and it's like, well, it's so versatile. Sometimes when a utility device is released, and it's like comes with multiple routines, they're all kind of variations of the same routine. Whilst with
yeah,
this, I could perform, for example, two of the different effects, like the two that I've just spoken about, and you wouldn't even think the same gimmick or the same
yeah.
utility device would be used for both of them. It's so deceptive.
You could do pi if you want. So can we explain what is it? Or shall I
Yeah, yeah,
explain a
yeah,
little
yeah.
bit? Or,
Yeah, we can explain. Yeah, yeah.
okay. So you can do like show ability of memorizing pi, and 10,000 digits of pi. You can ask anyone to go on the internet and look for the real pi. It's not a fake or a fake book or gimmick or whatever. They really go on the internet to look for pi. They stop anywhere, give you a couple of digits, and then you can continue, and you can continue forward or backward, which is crazy amazing. And
Amazing.
it looks like a memory demonstration. And then they can think of any digit on their credit card and you guess it. And it sounds like body language demonstration. And then you can do tell them the day of the week they were born, and tell them how many days since then, and it looks like a calculation demonstration. And you can do, let me remember what I do. You can play something I do very often is something with a calculator. You ask them to multiply and add some digit. They don't tell you anything, and you guess the result, which again looks totally different. You could do a little 20 minutes with it, with Synaptic, without people thinking it's the same thing.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's very, 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 very good. And it like you say, it's been kind of you've showcased it at FISM and a couple of different places. But its official launch was on the 1st of December, and at the moment it's
Exactly.
only available through the Conjuring Lab. Is that correct?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Only through Conjuring. And I think we still have a special price for a week or something like this. So maybe when you are listening to this video, maybe there is still something for you. But
And like you said, Yves, it's very much an EDC thing, because although it's an electronic thing, you can just have
yes,
that with you. It fits. It's no pocket space hardly. It's yeah. There you go. You've got it.
yeah, yeah. I have it.
Yeah, and you wouldn't even know. But at that point, then you don't need anything else, and you are good to go into any of those effects and more that Yves
Yeah.
has suggested. It's excellent. It really is. The ad copy. I looked at the ad copy on the internet before we started the interview, and it says a new era in mentalism has begun, and I genuinely believe that that's the case, because this is a very unique utility device,
Yeah.
and it's never been explored in mentalism before. I can see a lot of people using this.
And some of the critical thing I didn't want to negotiate on was you don't need internet, you don't need your cell phone, you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need Bluetooth. It's something that you can put in your pocket and use whatever the conditions are around you. It's autonomous. You say autonomous? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's
Like it
self-contained.
works completely. It's self-contained.
Yeah.
You don't need anything at all to make it work. It just works.
Yeah, you don't need to connect it to an app, and sometimes you have to redo it or reconnect to no app, no nothing, just this. Yes.
It's
Um,
acceptable.
that's what make it. You just put it in your pocket. You sometimes I do some bullet reading, just guessing a word that people are thinking about, and they tell me, "Wow, how your mind does it?" And I say, "Oh, I train." And I do some memory stuff. And what do you memorize? I kind of memorize pi because it's easy. And people are, how is easy it is? I'm not good. I can only do 10,000 digits. Wow, can you show it for real? Yeah, I can maybe. Okay, go on internet, look, and people are.
Yeah. And it's not like they're going to a fake website or anything like that. That's
No,
important for people to know. It's not like they're going into a book that is set up in some way. No, they're looking at real pie, and you're telling them in real
yeah,
time what it
yeah.
is that, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
But again, um, this is uh, an effect that was kind of a surprise. When we put it on the market, it was called Foresight Guru, because it makes you able to win any game of Connect 4. You could play, which was a new effect in Magic. You can ask someone, okay, you know Connect 4? Good name?
Yes.
Yes? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And you can also play on a sheet of paper if you want. You just cross and circle. And the base, the starting of the gimmick was making you able to play with anyone and always win, which is kind of showing that your brain is different than anyone else's brain. And that was the starting point. And then someone suggested us, can you put something else inside maybe? And then we came with the idea of pi, of perpetual calendar, and many things you can find in it. But I'm very lucky to work with Rudy and Oren that make this possible, because we could figure out the effect, but the ability of coding this kind of stuff, it's not easy
I
make
can
it work.
imagine. But the end result is just phenomenal because from the end user's point of view, all the hard work's been done for them. So it then
Yeah,
becomes incredibly easy to do, and it almost feels like cheating. It's that strong. It's just it's ridiculous.
yeah. And to be honest, we thought about putting inside um, a stack reader. You know, when you
Oh yeah,
play
yeah, yeah,
for blackjack players,
yeah,
we thought of maybe we could do that, and then we didn't do it. But this is something we could do. Yeah, put something
yeah.
to help you play blackjack.
I mean, yeah, that'd be great. But the bottom line is the gimmick as it stands, you can just literally put it in your pocket. It takes up no space. And you can literally, I'm not exaggerating here, you can do a 20-minute act where a 20-minute mentalism act where every single effect feels completely different. You're not walking up to people with any props. You're literally just walking up to people apparently with empty hands, and you're
Yeah,
borrowing things and you're doing magic with what they have, and you're giving them an incredible demonstration of cognitive ability, and that's just exceptional.
yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I
Uh,
love it. And
Everything in an everyday car. We are honestly, we are very proud of this gimmick,
it's
and
just
we are.
good.
I'm using it. I, I, I would say I never leave home without it in my pocket. It's not totally true because I don't always do magic, but kind of always have it with me. Yeah,
It's great, and it's available currently, as I said, exclusively only through the Conjuring Lab.
yeah.
So that's the only place you can get it right now. So, and it is by the time you watch this, it is actually available. So you can go to conjuringlab.com, and that's where you can pick it up from. And that's also where you can pick up some of the other products that we've talked about, including the cash flow, the super visual credit card to build that you showed earlier on, an acronym
The
model,
algorithm.
yeah, the algorithm. There's so many different things that are there, which is amazing. I want to ask you one last question, which
Yes.
is what's next? And what I mean by that is, do you have anything left on your magical bucket list? Because, like I said to you, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your butt, like at the beginning of this chat with you, I said like you could take 5% of what you've achieved, and you could say to a magician, would you be happy with that at the end of their career? And they would say yes. You currently are touring around. You're performing as much as you want to. You've had multiple magic shops. You own Country Lab. You're bringing out effects that are used by performers all over the world. You've consulted with the biggest names in magic. You've performed all over on various different TV channels. You've worked with, we've talked about David Blaine, Dynamo. We've talked about Copperfield. I mean, it blows my mind everything that you've done. Like, surely at this point you're like, yep. I got nothing left. I'm like, is there anything left that you want to achieve on your magical bucket list, or have you kind of ticked it all off at this point?
Um, I have many effects that am working on right now. Some of the thing I want to achieve. I think it has been on my list for more than 25 years.
Wow.
So it was on my list, and I'm now working on it more seriously. So yeah, the problem is too many ideas, not enough time to make everything. And yeah. Many things. Yes, many crazy stuff.
So watch
Um,
this space. How can people keep in touch with everything that you've got going on? Is there a way for people to know? I mean, obviously they can subscribe to the Conjuring Lab newsletter. That's going to tell them about some of the things that you have coming out with Conjuring Lab. But is there any other
yes,
way to follow you on social media or so on and so forth?
I think I'm. You know, that was why I have a lot of admiration for you because you are a very big creator. You are a performer. You have an agency, and you are great at I wouldn't say marketing, I would say communication skills. And I'm not very good at it. And I do have kind of, I think maybe autism or something like this. I don't know, but I'm not good at it. But we have an Instagram.
Hmm.
I think it's Conjuring Lab on Instagram. And you can just contact me and I will answer. I'm kind of friendly and open.
That's
If you have
amazing.
any question and want to talk about magic, give a call.
That's perfect. That's perfect. So everybody, you can go onto Conjuring Lab, sign up for their newsletter, and then go and check them out on Instagram. Whatever you have coming out, Eve, it's going to be incredible. I know it is. I know that the best chapter of your book has yet to be written. I know that there's many, many more chapters with many, many more. Um,
And we have to work on something together.
well, we have been discussing that, haven't we? So that is something that I'm very excited about. My favorite thing in this community is collaborating with people that I respect, and I respect the hell out of you. So, yes, that is something I'm very, very excited about. I really am.
Yes,
And
I am.
and I want to say thank you so much for coming on the channel. Thank you so much for taking time out of your very busy schedule to chat to people on Magic TV. Eve, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Craig, for this interview. I feel like I feel better.
Yeah,
I feel like, yeah, I've done all this stuff.
you
That's
have.
cool.
You should. You should pat yourself on the back. You've done amazing. It's just incredible. It really is. It's
Let,
so,
let, let me show this interview to my wife. She will be amazed.
yes, do that. And I want everybody watching to do something for me. I want you to leave a comment down below. Let Eve know what you thought of the interview, and let me know what your favorite effect is that you've bought from Eve. Let me know down below. And while you're at it, go over onto the Conjuring Lab website, and trust me, go pick up Semantic. Everything else that's on there is great, but Semantic, their new thing, Synaptic, sorry, their new thing is just absolutely mind blowing. I remember being completely fooled by it, and it's not just fooling, but it's also just very damn clever. So go and do that. Leave a comment down below, and I'll be back next Saturday with another Talk Magic. But one more time, Eve, thank you so much.
Thank you, Craig. Bye.
No problem, guys. I'll see you again. My name's Craig, and this is Magic TV.